Hi, Martin here. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're all well and you've had a good creative few days in your workshops. Just thought I'd touch base with you really. Do you remember the demonstration I was heading off to in the last video? Well, there's a little story to go with it. It was a great night. I was made to feel extremely welcome, and I had a really good time. So thank you very much indeed, Hampshire Woodturners, for having me that evening. I hope you enjoyed the demo. I said I would show you the piece. Well, here it is. It was, as I said, it was going to be one of those thingies, wall shield things. And here it is. It's got its brown frame, some plain wood, and a coloured centre. It looks a little bit different to when you saw it in the video. I was given slightly wrong lathe dimensions, so the blank was actually an inch too wide for the lathe. So myself and the chairman had to head off to his place quickly just to really quickly turn those down and finish them off and finish sand the piece down. And we got back and we were only 10 minutes late, so all in all it wasn't a bad thing. But I'm very pleased with how it's turned out. I slipped with the texturing tool. I was too busy talking and doing at the same time. But the colouring effect that's on there has come out an absolute treat. I'm really pleased with that. And I've had a couple of emails from the club members thanking me for the demo, which is always nice. So thank you again, Hampshire Woodturners. I'm really pleased you invited me down. Thank you. Right, now, set up on the lathe today. Yes, I have some time to do some turning. I've got all of the orders out. Jan, the new PA who I was talking about in the last video, she started and she's looking after some of the admin emails and stuff for me. So I've got some spare time. So set up on the lathe at the moment is a piece of beech, which is 16.5 inches long, but the actual piece is going to be about 14 inches, something like that. And my lovely girlfriend Natalia bought me a steady rest for Christmas from a really nice chap called Ken Garner. It's solid oak, and it bolts onto the lathe and it all fits absolutely brilliantly. So I'm dead chuffed with the steady rest. I could have made my own, but I don't have the time, and to be honest, I don't really have the inclination to make my own, which is why I buy a lot of stuff. So the steady rest is here. It's really nice and sturdy and stable, so I'm very happy with that. So Ken, if you're watching, here it is. I'm using it, and for those of you, if you're interested, I'll put a link to Ken's website in the description. And I've also got the Hope hollowing jig, which I use to hollow this out down to down to about 5 inches. Yeah, about 5 inches. That's all I want with this piece, because I'm going to put a taper on it and get all a bit arty with it. The inside has already been finished. Oh, excuse me. The inside has already been finished down to 400, and the next step I want to do is colour that black. I've ummed and ahed over whether I should dye it black with my normal colours or spray it black with an automotive gloss paint, but I've decided I'm going to use my normal colours, because I think it'll be in keeping with the vision I have for the rest of the piece. So I'm just going to colour it black really. Now, while it looks really quite black and dark in there on the film, it's not as dark as I would like it. So I'm going to do a bit more to the outside and then spray the inside, leave it overnight, and then come back and finish everything tomorrow. Next up, I need to start shaping the outside of the piece to kind of match the taper on the inside. So I'm going to leave the I'm going to leave the steady rest in the position that it's in at the moment, and just very carefully start to just take that down, and then swap places. I'll put the steady rest right on the end, and then I can use the tool rest on the inside part. Right, as you saw, I've got the shape that I want, and the next thing I decided I wanted to do was cut off the top of the piece. And not wanting to actually kind of hold it, being round and stuff, I found a piece of plywood, taped the piece into position, and then ran it through the bandsaw. There's the top, and there's the piece. Well, now I've got it back on the lathe. I am quite happy with it. I don't think I've got too much to complain about. But I'm now wondering what I'm going to do with it. I really like the shape. The walls are a little bit thicker towards the bottom than the top, but hey ho. There's a nice feature around the back here, and we've got the black inside, of course, there. So I've got a few options. I can leave it as it is, or colour it and perhaps gold leaf that bit there, this sort of rim area, or I don't know. I've decided to put some gold leaf on the rim of the piece, and the size I'm using, the glue essentially, says that it needs to go over a shellac sealer, so I have sealed it with shellac, and then I'm just going to very carefully, or at least fairly carefully, apply some of the size to the piece. I don't do an awful lot of leaf work, as you know, so I'm not the best at it. I'll have to sand the inside again. I just want to make sure that there's no bits of tissue stuck where the leaf's going to go. Right, well, I think I think that's about it. But now I've got to wait 15 minutes before I can put the leaf on. Right, the moment of truth. I'm not going to gold gilt it. Gold leaf it. I'm going to put on a sort of a variegated leaf, which has been heat treated. It's rather attractive, but if you bear with me a second, I'll show you. But I need to try and lay it on there as flat as possible, and I think I'll probably end up wasting quite a lot of the paper or the leaf unless I'm very careful. And I've decided to go with I can't open the book. I've decided to go with a sort of a bluey, reddy leaf. But I might have to be quiet in a minute because this stuff is so delicate. There, can you see that? But I just want to lay it on. Oh, I haven't done enough. No idea what this is going to look like. I'm a bit nervous. It's going to need a little bit more size up here and round there where it hasn't quite taken properly. Okay, it's a few minutes later, and I've gone round the piece and I've finished sanded down to 400, and I had to sand the inside a bit as well, but then I had to reapply the colour. But I think it's come out quite nicely. I'm rather happy with how it has turned out. Now the last thing I need to do for today is put some oil on. A little bit of oil. Ugh. Then I need to leave this overnight to cure before I come back tomorrow to seal and finish. So thank you very much indeed for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this sort of little impromptu project. I'll finish it off tomorrow for you. Okay, thanks very much. Bye for now.